What are we doing?
Dude, I don't know.
You need a hug? All right, let's do it.
So I was doing some research.
It's like therapy for us. You're just easing into not having much time on your hands.
And I'm stoked for the journey. What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Boyd.
I am Zach Gittler. How are you?
And we are two dads on a microphone. Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
See this microphone? I love my microphone. I'm becoming very personal with this microphone. This microphone speaks to me nowadays. You know, I love you, microphone.
You're just gonna be that person walking around with like the headset mic. You just always have to have the mic by you, not even connected.
Whether or not I'm talking to anybody or not.
Would you be considered
Maybe
like
that's what I should do. Maybe I should walk around with a real microphone, and every time I have a conversation with someone, I just like I'm interviewing them.
Dude, we could
interview conversation.
That's
hilarious.
I got a good idea.
Okay.
Two dads on the street.
Oh, dude, you have a great idea.
All these topics, we revisit them.
Oh my God.
And we go out in the street and we just, hey, backstory them before we don't like bombard them. Two dads on the street. I think we got to add another word because two dads on the street. No, that works. Two dads on the street.
The THA.
Two dads hit the street.
Oh. I don't know. I like on the street.
On the street, yeah.
On the street.
Two dads on the block. No, two dads on the street.
No, that's like Jenny from the block, bro.
Right. Yeah. Done. Look at this.
Two dads on the street.
We just go mobile with it.
Ooh, I like
so
that.
It'll be okay.
Dude, we could anchor it because it's right on our phone.
I know. Well, no, I'd record it with camera.
Oh.
And then
have some camera
and
footage.
Host. Yeah,
I love that.
We'd each take turns. Let's show you how to hold the camera.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea. Okay, so what's up?
Wait, are we doing a podcast?
Yeah,
right now?
where are we?
Oh, I thought we were having a meeting.
We're back, people.
Oh, you guys are watching this? Oh my gosh, or listening?
I think we have more meetings during our podcast than we do ever in any other time.
I know.
That's all right.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. A little housekeeping before we jump into it. Today, we got a great topic. We've got a really hot topic, a really interesting topic, something that is speaking to, I think, this entire country right now with what we've got going on in this country.
And it piggybacks off our last episode.
It does. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those amazing social media platforms at Two Dads on a Mic, YouTube as well. Subscribe, and then also check us out on Anchor. That's our main podcast platform, but also iTunes, Spotify, and all the other major podcast platforms as well. Two Dads on a Mic, Brian Boyd and Zach Gittler coming at you today.
That's right.
Yeah, boy. So today we're talking. We've never really done in my opinion, like a controversial topic. It's more about, how to be a good dad, funny movies, funny quotes, dad jokes, things like that. We're switching up a little bit here.
Yeah, bring in kind of real life things going on to parenting. I like this. Yeah,
right. Because it does. It really it all immerses together. We're talking Colin Kaepernick today. It's pretty big right now. It just came out. Nike endorsed Colin Kaepernick for their new Just Do It campaign. The commercial was released in the first NFL football game. I don't know if you saw it, but I'll tell you this. It is powerful. It is amazing. And it's one of those commercials that when you watch it, for me, it gives you goosebumps. And it makes you reflect on you as a human.
Talk about what he did for the people that don't know listening.
Yeah, so Colin Kaepernick is notoriously famous for kneeling during the national anthem of NFL football games. So he was the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He was really great. First season, made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. Has a ton of potential. Kind of that new age quarterback. He can throw, he can run, he can kind of do it all. And then we started having all these issues in our country about police officers and the black community, people getting shot.
That's where Black Lives Mattered.
Yes. And so his objective was to protest oppression, basically. And I'll read for you a quote that's directly from him around this topic. And he said, "I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. So those are his thoughts and reasons behind not standing for the national anthem. And this happened in 2016, so it's been a few years, right? And it's really jumping back into the media because Nike is now making him the face of their Just Do It campaign.
Good for them, though. I mean, like, good for them in a lot of ways. Not to like, hey, doing what's right, but also as a business, taking a huge risk and chance. Well, I mean, it's awesome.
Well, that's what I think, successful businesses do is they take risks and chances, calculated as it may be. Well, there's a lot of people right now on both sides, right? You've got people that are burning their Nikes. They literally have people on the news showing them burning their Nikes in protest. And they've got people that are applauding Nike for, like what you just said, standing up and showcasing their core value of just do it. Like that is their purpose statement for their company, is to just do it, and making him the face of their campaign. So we wanted to talk about that today and kind of give our opinions and our thoughts on Colin Kaepernick, the Just Do It campaign, and then how that translates into the parenting world. So I'll start it off, Mr. Gittler, by saying, first of all, I am extremely impressed with Nike for not only doing this, but being creative enough to do it. Because I think they looked at the situation, and I think they looked at Colin Kaepernick, and they said, this is perfect for our business, and our model is what we believe in. And I've also got to give extreme credit to Colin Kaepernick because he gave up his entire NFL career to do this. He chose to not stand during the national anthem. Whether I believe that is right or wrong, I believe that standing for the national anthem is the right thing to do. I believe that taking your hat off during the national anthem is the right thing to do. I believe that if I were in his situation, I would probably I would see it more from his perspective, and I would be okay with me personally. I don't think that me doing that resonates with what it stands for, right? I'm a white individual. I live in middle class America, right? I don't really come from the world of oppression. I've lived it when I taught in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. I've seen it, and anybody that thinks that it's not a real thing in this country is completely wrong, because it is a real thing in this country. When you have entire neighborhoods that are oppressed and that do you realize that these schools, they are funded based on attendance, and you have a lot lower attendance in these areas of where these kids have less resources or they come from really crummy backgrounds. And so they actually have less funding than our schools that are in nicer areas because funding is solely based on attendance.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's the whole situation. It's just like politics, It's like Nike choosing, him choosing. It's like choosing a president. Who are you going to support? Nike's going to support. It's like you're going to support Barack, you're going to support Trump, and I don't follow politics at all, but that's what it sounds like to me of like the backlash that's happening of who hates who supports who. It's the same kind of like thing, but in the world that we live in right now, in regards to like what Nike's supporting, they're supporting the not stronger side, but in our eyes is the right side, which is super cool,
right?
But you're going to always have the backlash of the hate and the disagreement, which you have to have in the world,
right? And I think I think to my beliefs on what he did, I am such a firm believer in if there is something that you stand for and you believe in, and you are not harming anybody else for that belief or stance, that's what makes this country so beautiful. That is what makes this country what it is
because you have the ability to do that, because anywhere else you might get shot, you might get hung, you might get thrown in jail, and we see it every day. So
even just ridiculed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Publicly ridiculed, or people will just not even associate themselves with you because you believe this one way. And I love the fact that I live in a country where I have the freedom to live the way I want to live. If I want to start a business, I can start a business. If I don't want to start a business, I don't have to start a business. If I want to go to school to learn how to become a doctor, I have that right.
Well, I don't think and also it's a good point. People don't wrap their brains around all of these things that we do have. We focus on all the things we don't or are mad about happening. Like, people don't realize what we have in America.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't. It's an amazing country. I'm super blessed to be an American. I'm very proud to be an American. I have a flag. I put a flagpole in my front yard. That was my birthday present from my brother-in-law, so that I could fly an American flag, because I love the fact that I'm an American. I'm
gonna have a Canadian and an American.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And my father is a veteran of war, and I know he's very prideful in America. When I was brought up, I that was my summer vacations as we toured different historical American sites. I've been to Gettysburg. I've been to almost every national park on the West Coast. I've been to multiple national parks in the East Coast and the Midwest. And it was something I've done the Freedom Walk in Boston, right, where you go see Ben Franklin's house and all those types of things. I think our four founding fathers did exactly what Colin Kaepernick did in essence for their beliefs. They went against what they thought was wrong. They stood up for it. And because of that, they created an entire country based on those core values and beliefs. And I think that that's what Colin Kaepernick is trying to say. And I think a lot of the ridicule has come that, well, it's disrespectful to our armed forces and our people in our military to not stand during the national anthem. And I think that is such a far off right-wing way of looking at it and thinking about it, because you're only focusing on something that you think is the issue. And when you read his statement, it has nothing to do with our military. In fact, if you read statements, he talks about how much he appreciates and loves the military. And this is all about his gender and what's going on in this country in regards to his gender.
Yeah, and I think everybody is so fast to jump to just bad in every response known to man and not like what was the real story behind it. So right away when he does something, you did it wrong. That's just wrong. You can't do that's wrong, whatever it may be. And the world we live in is just brainwashed in doing that in so many ways. Anything ever told to me from our business, even in the inner circle of things, I don't believe it until you hear it from the horse's mouth. Then I will dissect it and say, okay, then I'll have a view if someone wants to hear a view. I don't really have a view on a lot of things because I can tell you 10 different things of what I think, how it could have happened this way, or you don't even know that this was manipulated this way. So I don't really ever have views, but I think people are so prone to jump on just the bad of everything. But now that the word's out, you find out, not word out, but you find out more and more the backstory of why he did it. It's a lot more understanding in a way of just like how you said, you have your views, what I would do, but now that I've heard why he did it, I understand. And that's my belief too, is whatever, my belief is like whatever makes you happy. That's it. Cool. I'm good with that. Until you do something mean to me, I have no problem, and I love you. You know, like I have no problem at all. But people just have different views and just are so brainwashed in how they were brought up and just don't understand how important it is to have your own views on things. And that kind of segues into like, we have children. We're bringing our children up in this world right now. How do we want them to grow up to, are they going to, tell them add your 2 cents to things. Insight what you feel. Don't just like bottle it up. You bottle it up, and then what happens is, all the bad stuff that we hear in the news of like kids going crazy and shooting stuff. I mean, like going back to like other podcasts we have and going to have like communication. It's like you got to lay in those ground rules. And like right now, like we're surrounded by all this stuff happening in this situation, and it's just we want our children to grow up being able to have their view.
Yeah, and I think being able to have their view because they were able to be smart about the situation and dissect it from different angles. I think that's one of the biggest problems is that, like you said, immediately people jump to this opinion, right? But they haven't taken the time to dissect the situation. So how do you have an opinion about something if you haven't looked at it from all angles? And that's the biggest problem with people in our country right now is that they're just so quick to judge, and I think the biggest problem is the media. right? And that's where our job comes in as parents. I love in the commercial, Colin Kaepernick says in the Nike commercial, if you haven't seen it, he says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. And what he's really saying there is believe in your beliefs and don't worry about other people's beliefs and how they're going to react to it. Because if you stand up for what you believe in, at the end of the day, you're going to be proud of yourself and you're going to be proud of what you're doing because what you're doing means so much to you. And that's exactly what I want Mac when she grows up to be able to do, right? I'm not going to agree with everything that she does in life. She's going to do stupid shit. I did stupid shit, right? It's going to happen. But at the end of the day, like if she has an opinion about something and it is about her core belief and I believe something completely different, at least I'll be able to have that conversation with her and hopefully I'll be able to see her side of it and I'll be able to say, you know what, I see your side, I just disagree. And I hope that she'll be able to say the exact same thing to me. You know what, Dad, I see your side of it. It makes sense to me, but I still believe this. If I can get to that point with my kid in my life, I have succeeded as a parent.
Yeah,
Pure
I agree.
and simple.
And that's why at these ages, the young age, it's like when you start, I don't know, just start doing it. Just start communicating and like, we're going to say in future episodes of just start early age. Don't wait till later to instill that your child has a voice, whatever it may be. Just everything you do with your child should be a teaching.
And if you think your kids aren't aware, I would say if you have a child like 8 years old or older and they're not aware, especially if they like sports and especially if they like football, you don't think they're aware of this. I remember in elementary school, I talked football with my friends every single week. Every single week, we talked football. We knew the games that were going to be played. We knew what was going on in the NFL. Like, we knew football. It was a big thing in our school. And if at 8, 9 years old, I would have known about this. And I hope that my parents would have sat me down and be like, hey, let's talk about this Colin Kaepernick thing because you watch the NFL every single week and you're going to see this commercial. And you're going to hear things from your friends. And they're probably going to give you their opinions of their parents. And we want you to not just listen to their opinions and be like, yeah, that's what I think too. We want you to listen to their opinions and be able to have a debate with them if you believe something differently.
Yeah, and if you don't know, then say, hey, explain it to me.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this. The next family dinner you have or don't, and you're outside doing something and you have 5 minutes. Like, people don't realize, like, 5 minutes of time can be such a huge investment for the next month of your life with your child. So if your child ever brings something up to you wanting to talk about it, you're super busy, take 5 minutes. Like, people don't realize how much time we really do have in a lifetime that you can sacrifice, 5 minutes to a half hour. And as I'm saying this, I know I should be doing a better job of it because my wife always says it too, because I'm always working or doing something that I do need to do a better, job at that. And it's very easy to sacrifice a little time. So if your child ever brings something up, if they want to talk about, want to expose to you, whatever, again, focus and talk to your child about it.
I love that line, dude. You just created a new tagline.
What?
Take 5 minutes.
Take 5 minutes.
Dude, that's like the more you know commercials.
Yeah,
When the star comes across?
Yeah, right.
That would be a great commercial for a foundation that focuses on
Take
like
5
being with your kids. Take 5 minutes.
Take 5 uninterrupted, focused,
Take 5 minutes.
eye-to-eye minutes with your child.
That's it. And it may turn into 30, but what a great 30 minutes that'll be.
As our kids grow up, it's like, who knows? Once a week, you have it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minute Saturdays or something, or 10 minutes. You can talk to me about anything you want. I will not get mad. It's just going back to like the future episode we're gonna have about communication. It's like, it's so important. Just anything your child ever brings up to you, don't ever do what people did when he didn't stand for the national anthem. Don't ever just jump to conclusions. Find out the story behind it. So if your child ever brings something up to you, good or bad, listen and assess after you hear the whole story.
Yeah, because I'll admit when he did not stand for the national anthem at the beginning, it kind of pissed me off. I find that disrespectful. I find it when people in baseball stadiums or football stadiums or wherever don't take their hat off for the national anthem.
Now the difference.
That's a respect thing.
The difference from you, I don't care. Like, if someone did that, or like I was at the game, I'm like, I mean, I know you're supposed to, but I wouldn't care. Like, personally, okay.
Yeah, I literally take offense to that because I feel that there's no reason not to, like, if you're going to stand for the national anthem, take your hat off, if you're going to not stand for the national anthem, don't take your hat off. There's no reason to just do one, right? Do both. And I don't know where the whole take your hat off for the national anthem thing came from, and maybe I should educate myself.
So there
on
you
that.
go. So can you really get mad if you don't even know why they're taking it off in the first place?
Right.
But you were brought up that way.
I was.
And that's what it comes down to.
I have literally had people at the Padres Stadium. I had a guy one time. I left my hat on because I didn't even think about it. I probably had like 3 or 4 beers in me at that time, so I didn't even think about it.
Did he hit you on the head?
Dude, he slapped my hat off from behind because it was on backwards, and he slapped the bill. Oh yeah, a little older guy. I mean, not like 82, World War II vet, but he was like 60 or something. And he slapped it off. Yeah, didn't even ask me. Didn't like nudge me on the shoulder, like, "Hey man, would you mind taking your hat off?"
Who knows if you had a backstory,
right?
Of like some crazy, and you just drop some knowledge on him, like something, both my parents passed because of this and whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, and next time don't flick my hat off.
Yeah.
Like until you know the whole story, which I don't think in this era, especially in the media, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Just don't judge. Don't judge.
Ask questions. Don't judge.
Ask questions, and if you feel like it's convinced or you got an answer, then that's great. But still, sometimes, and if you're getting the answer from the media, you'll never get the real answer.
Yeah.
But just don't judge.
Yeah, and look within yourself and know what you stand for. And if you disagree, if you think Colin Kaepernick plays for the NFL, that is a private organization. They require you to stand during the national anthem, and that's a requirement of the company.
I didn't know that.
But they're a private company.
Oh, I get that aspect of
right?
things. I just didn't get that as them being a private company, you can do whatever you want, but that's one of their restrictions, requirements.
Right. And so he chose to not do that, and so hence he does not have a job in the NFL.
So you could almost go back, let's say, while this happened, and knowing that fact, be like, if you didn't like it, then why did he play for the NFL?
Right.
Like in my eyes, I'm like, it's a stupid requirement in my eyes, because as we're saying, we live in America. You should be able to have your own views. Do what you want. Guess you don't. And a lot of other elements in businesses and organizations, you think you do, but you don't. Just like when you check that I agree box on anything you do, you think you have a right. You really don't, because you check that I agree box on that whatever you did.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so they actually incorporated a new policy.
Oh, now it's incorporated, or was it before?
The policy said that players had the option to stay in the locker room, but everyone on the field had to stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. Teams would be fined by the NFL for violations, and so that's what it was. And now there's a freeze on the policy, and they're trying to.
It's just crazy. Like, I think it's an older demographic and an older way of living and being brought up, that there's so many things that should be not changed, but just relooked at as protocol, as rules in the world that we live in now than how it wasn't prior.
Yeah.
But
that's good. I think that's
you're bringing awareness.
That's what makes our country so great, is that we can have those debates and those discussions, and we can bring awareness, and we can make change.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome that we can make those changes, and it's not just the iron fist of this is the way it is and this is the way it always will be. Because guess what? We are evolving. Just as a human race, the amount of people the amount of marriages that are now different races or genders. You know what I mean? It's just changing, and if things like the NFL aren't willing to change, it's going to piss people off that are being brought up in a society that change is inevitable, and it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. You need to be able to change and go with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it just brings it all full circle of we want to grow up our children knowing they have a voice. And it's crazy that I'm saying this, I was going to say, and they can make a change, because honestly, my views when it comes to voting and signing this, I really don't think today, in regards to vote, I don't have a say. I don't think my vote counts. This is going to piss people off, only because the manipulation, the this happened, the someone paid someone this, and whatever. There's so many ways to offset and mess with things that I just don't. But this is a prime example of like how you can make a difference if you're in a certain part of, like he's a famous football star. Like you can have a voice.
The spotlight.
If you have the spotlight on you, yes, you can make a change. So I think that's what I want to instill in Arya and probably you and Mac as they grow. Just that element, like you can make a change.
Your voice can make a change.
It can definitely make a change.
You look at someone like Dr. Martin Luther King, right? The guy stood for what he believed in, and he made a change. He did. And you look at someone like Rosa Parks. She didn't have a spotlight on her, right? But she decided, I'm not sitting in the back of the bus. Like that's not okay.
But it's also commitment to whatever you're wanting to change.
Yes.
And it's not, if you're going to do it, don't do it half-ass. Like
Exactly.
I want to instill that in Arya big time.
Exactly.
If you're going to do it, do it. And it starts with the smallest things at 3.5. If you're going to do it, if you're going to help me clean the floor, then you're going to do it from start to finish.
Right.
Because you're going to understand the whole thing rather than like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm done.
I don't want to do this
and
anymore.
that's happening tons of times. Like, she'll help me and like, oh, I'm bored and I'll do it. Fine, and I get it happens. It doesn't finish it all the time, but she's starting to finish more and more. And that's just repetitive. And that is a smaller scale. Bigger scale, when she gets older and she stands for something, she's going to know that, like, in order for this to happen the way I want to, I have to see it all the way through.
Yeah,
till the end.
I think it goes back to that quote that I said from this commercial. Believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. Like, you need to do it to the full extent of what you believe that it needs to be done, and you don't stop until it gets there. And it may never get there, but that just means you never stop.
And then, yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's so cool that, like, and if you're not involved with your kids, family, as much as you can be, do it. Just do it. I mean, it's going to make life, you're investing. It's all it really is. It all comes down to just investments. I mean, like,
take 5 minutes.
Take 5 minutes. It doesn't take much, but those 5 minutes, focus.
Well, and those 5 minutes add up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just because it's 5 minutes today, that could be 60 minutes over the course of a month.
You're exercising your mental mind for parenting in a way. And it starts off, it sucks at first, but then it becomes, normal. And then you do more and more. And then it just becomes like, yeah, it's just a way of life. Because I keep saying the word brainwash. I got to think of a different word, but like that's how we are as we grow. We just get brainwashed into doing the same thing.
Well, if we don't have the tools to think for ourselves, you're right.
But I brainwash myself into good things,
right?
As much as I can. So I got to find a new word because brainwash everything is it's a bad word. I got to find
stigma.
Yeah, I got to find a different word for brainwashing. I brainwash everything I do in a good way. Like I take it, I do it as much as I can, and I keep doing it, and then I'm brainwashed. It becomes normal protocol.
Yeah. I think they call that mojo.
Yeah.
That's your mojo,
That's
baby.
my mojo. Is that Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope that, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this as well. What a great topic. What a great thing. It gives, these are the types of things, everybody, that give you the platform to have amazing conversations with your kids. What an awesome thing. And if you can't see any positive from something like this, at least maybe you can see that as the positive. How can I utilize this moment in our country's history? Because this is something that will be marked in the history of our of our country. Because sports are such a big thing and have such an impact on our country these days that when there is a political statement that's made, it's blown up. I mean, this is huge. Mm-hmm. This dude is making an entire career off of his beliefs. He's not even playing football anymore, and he's making that paycheck because he believes in, and he decided, I will sacrifice my high-paying $1 million per year NFL career because this is how strongly I believe in that. And you have to have respect for that. You may not agree with it, but you got to respect it.
Exactly, I agree.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. My name is Brian Boyd.
And I'm Zach Gittler.
Make sure you find us on all of our social media platforms, all of our YouTube, podcast platforms. We love you guys. Thanks for following us. Give us your comments, likes, feedbacks, applauds, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
We out.